7 time management techniques that you could start using. The time management techniques that I use to shuffle between my startup job, my personal engagements, and my creator journey. That's what we are going to be discussing in today's video. Let's get started. Hey folks, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Praveen Ramesh, and on this channel we speak about non-fiction books, and I also speak about lessons, failures, techniques that I am learning and implementing by reading these non-fiction books. I find it immensely useful. I hope you do too. So time, it's a very valuable resource, right? When I started my productivity and time management and all those things, to be very fair with you, it all felt very overwhelming, right? Because we are in this age of social media where everyone seems to be doing something, everyone seems to have a million subscribers, hundreds and thousands of subscribers on YouTube, everyone seems to be banging it out on Instagram, everyone seems to have a side hustle. That makes you wonder, how do these people even get this time? And you end up Googling a lot, you end up reading a lot, and in more often than not, you end up being overwhelmed than where you started with. And if you are someone who's in this journey, worry not. Even I was in this journey until let's say 3, 4, 5 months back, where I took a step back to realize, hey, how can I manage my time better? Because we all have a finite number of hours, 24 to be precise, in a day. And the greatest creators that you see, the greatest entrepreneurs you see, the greatest people that you get inspired from have the same amount of time as you. It's just that they manage the time much better as compared to you. So in today's video, I'm going to speak about these smaller hacks or techniques that I am personally using to get things done, or to manage between my personal engagements, my professional life, and this creator journey. And at the end of which, I more often than not feel fulfilled and happy. So enough of all the yarn, let's get started with the first one. So the first time management technique I use is called the highlight of the day. I think I've spoken enough about this on this channel. So this is a tip I picked up from this book called Make Time by Jake Knapp and John Zeratsky. So the technique is pretty simple. You pick out a thing that you want to do, which is either fun, urgent, or important to you, and block out some time on the calendar to get it done, right? So and how do you pick the highlight? As I said, you pick something fun, that's urgent, or that's important, and get that done, right? So for example, my highlight of the day could, let's say if I've postponed something for a very long time, let's say calling up my friend, I fill up 1 hour to just call up my friends and speak with them. On certain days, it's like I have to go through some important documentation that I haven't done in a very long time, let's say some financial documents, then I dedicate some time to get that done. It's not the only thing that we do on that day, but it's the most important, fun, or the urgent thing that you need to get done, and block out some time to get it done. So that's the first time management technique that I use. The second one, delegation. So a lot of people, whenever I say, hey, I delegate a lot of things that I don't want to do, they roll their eyes and they say, hey, are you serious? Why do you have to spend money to do something that you love doing? Or why do you have to spend money on something that you are supposed to be doing, and all those things? So here is how I think about it. So I put up a dollar value for my time, right? And it could be any arbitrary value that you put. And I came up with this number between $12 to $15. So that's the worth of my time per hour, right? So anything that I can outsource for less than $12 to $15, I go ahead and do it. So it helps me in 2 ways. One, it helps me worry less about things where I have to put in a lot of effort. For example, editing these videos, right? I tried my hand at editing, and I realized that I was taking 2, 3, 4, 5 hours to get a simple edit done, as opposed to someone who's an expert who could get it done in 45 minutes or 1 hour. So if I have the ability and the financial power to outsource something, the value of which is less than my per hour value, I go ahead and outsource this, and it helps free up a lot of my mind space and the time I have in hand. So that's the second time management technique that I use. The third one, this is something that I picked up very recently. It's called Hell Yeah or No, based on the title of this book called written by Derek Sivers, where Derek goes on to say the default answer to anything that's presented to you, any task, any project, or any engagement that's presented to you, needs to be no, unless it's a hell yes, right? Or a hell yeah. Because you're not supposed to be saying yes to something where you feel 50-50 about it, or you're not completely sure about, hey, whether I need to do it or whether I shouldn't be doing this. So this time management technique kind of helped me cut out all the distractions and help me stay razor focused on what I want to accomplish. And whenever someone presents to me with a problem, for example, a lot of my good friends and well-wishers who follow my creator journey very closely keep telling me to repurpose this content on Instagram, they ask me to say, hey, why don't you promote it across various other channels and things like that. Are those bad advices? Definitely not. I know that I should be doing all those things, but at this point in time, I don't feel like, hell yeah, I need to be doing that. I rather, get very, very excited by the prospect of shooting videos and writing scripts and all those things. So anything that's not a hell yeah goes into your my to-do list or not to-do list. So that's the third time management technique. The fourth one, time blocking. So again, this is something that's a continuation of the highlight of the day, where you block out a certain amount of time for things that you want to get done, and sans any distraction, you get it done. So one pro tip that has helped me with time blocking is I cut out all sort of distractions when I block my time to get something done. For example, on weekdays, let's say I shoot 2 or 3 videos in 1 hour, I block out all distractions. I put my phone on flight mode because obviously I'm shooting in there. I switch off my Wi-Fi on my laptop so that I don't get any pings, and pretty much I shut myself in a room and get these videos done. So when you're cutting yourself out of all the distractions and all the external distractions, time blocking works much more effectively. So that's the same thing I try and replicate in my professional life as well. When I have some serious deep work to be done, I switch off all the pings, I pause notifications, I put on my noise cancelling headphones and get work done. So that's the fourth tip, time blocking. Fifth one, to-do list. So a lot of people ask me, hey Praveen, I've done my highlight of the day, so is that all that I need to do? You know the answer, right? So it's never the case that it'll never be enough if you just get the highlight of the day done. So to overcome that, I have this thing called to-do list, where I jot down pretty much everything that I have on my mind, or when people tell me something, hey Praveen, you need to get this done. When someone in my home tells me, when someone in office tells me something, I never try to remember them. So I always try to note it down in my to-do list. And the good thing that I do is I never add anything to my today's to-do list. So if someone tells me, hey, you need to get this done, that goes in my tomorrow or day after tomorrow's to-do list. What is urgent to someone else might not be urgent to me, because my to-do list for today is determined by what's important, urgent and fun to me. And I never add something to my to-do list unless it's like supremely urgent. But on most days when someone tells me something to be get done, it goes in my next day to-do list. So while I'm working on a set of things, I never add a new to-do, or I never introduce a new constraint into my today's to-do list, because more often than not, I get overwhelmed and end up not completing any of the things. So that's the fifth one. Sixth one is my favorite one, Parkinson's law. So work expands to fill the time that you allocate for it. So this has been very helpful for me to overcome procrastination of writing scripts or sending videos to edit, or in certain cases where I have to make that call or I have to get some personal work done where I procrastinate a lot. I just tell myself, hey, let me do it for 20-25 minutes and after that I'm gonna be done. So I set a timer for 20 minutes to write scripts, and more often than not 80-85% of my scripts are done. So for example, last week I had to kind of do a list of purchases for the home which I was putting off for good 1, 2, 3 months. I set up like 20-25 minutes to make a list of these purchases and order it online, and bang, I was done in 20-25 minutes. So more often than not, it's the fear of doing something unknown that makes us procrastinate, and Parkinson's law has been one of the biggest time management techniques that has helped me overcome this. So do try it out if you, and let me know what you think. And the seventh and the final one is something that I've repeated across all my productivity musings or time management musings, is the choice to be satisfied. More often than not, when you are in this productivity journey or creator journey, or if you're a student or anyone who's trying to get a lot of things done, the society and things around you, the social media and the system around you makes you feel like you could always do a lot more things than you're currently doing, because there is always this new shiny object that you could go after. There is this always new social engagement that you could go after, and all those things, which makes you feel like, maybe I'm not doing enough. Maybe I should produce more videos. Maybe I should do more work at office. Maybe I should be more social with a lot of my friends. So what I've come to realize is, we all have a finite amount of time, and this is something that I picked up from this book called One Thing, where you always have to lean towards one thing if you want it more, and you have to be satisfied with that choice, because it's a choice that you're making to do something. You have to give up something, and when you're trying to give up that something, you shouldn't be regretting like, maybe I could have done that. So if you pick up something, always be satisfied with the choice you have made, and be kind to yourself that oh my god, you have done so much despite of all the chaos that life throws at you. So that's the seventh time management technique, which is the choice to be happy with what you are doing and not beat yourself about things that you aren't doing. So that sums up the 7 time management techniques that I use on my day-to-day basis to juggle between my personal life, my creator journey, and my professional life. I hope you like this video. Is there a new technique that I need to try? Do let me know. Is there a technique that you are going to try after seeing this video? Do let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts and perspective on what's working and what's not. Until I see you in the next video, this is Praveen Ramesh signing off.